Hi, this is TJ with NetPicks.com and the 7summitstrader.com. In this video, I want to show you how I use the matrix with TradeStation. I get a lot of questions on what's the best way to set up and use the matrix when trading the 7 Summits Trader. So I'm going to show you my setup and how I use it, and then after we'll go into a couple sample trades where I actually trade the Russell E-mini and crude oil. These were trades that we did live in the trade room a few days ago. Just did a live demo yesterday, and we traded a little bit. And I understand that many of you wanted me to trade more, and I could understand why, and that's fine. I had to answer a lot of questions, though, and was a little distracted, so I thought I would post another trade video up so that you could see the SST in action. I'll just take that whole part back. All right, so you're going to see that I have two matrices here. The one on the right, this is the one I'm using the most, and I have it set up to enter bracket orders. So if I want to buy, I'm going to click on the buy area here. Let's move it over. And it's going to give me a stop and two targets. And the reason why is because I'm going in with two positions, and I have it set up to do that. So I'll show you what I mean. Got this set to quantity 2. You could change this if you want to do multiple. If you want to do more positions, you certainly can. And I go in with a bracket order. And I go in with a bracket order. 2 limits, 2 stops. Right here on this little button, I could set it so that I have a template. So on my targets, I'm going in with 18 ticks and 20 ticks, but on my stop, they're both set for 20 ticks. And the reason I do that is because I want to trail my second position. Sometimes, well, there are certain trade plans where I want to take profit at one fixed level and another fixed level, but other times I want to trail. So you could simply place your order like so. You got your 2 targets, and you just click on one of them and it disappears. So now I can go ahead and move my target to where my fixed target level is per the SST calculator. And I can move my stop, which is still handling both positions. So what happens is once this target is reached, one of these positions is going to come off on the stop side, and then I can continue to move it and trail it upwards. I find this to be a very simple way to trade. Now, if I happen to make a mistake or accidentally click on something that causes one of these handles, one of these orders to disappear or cancel, then I'm left with half my order on and half my order off. Instead of fumbling around and clicking off my OSO attachment and changing my quantity before placing a trade, which I find to be very cumbersome. In fact, if you do that, then maybe next time you place a trade, you'll forget to turn it on and forget to put your quantity back to where you want it. And that's happened to me a number of times. So what I figured out, and it didn't take a stroke of genius, but for me, I was a little bit slow to figure this out. I finally had the aha moment to just put on a second matrix. And this one is just for one position, market order, and all I have to do is go ahead and place my order. So let's say, for example, I'm in a trade. Let's pretend I'm long here, and I accidentally cancel both my targets. Well, you'll notice that it also canceled on the other matrix because both matrices are basically identical. It shows the same order on both sides. So if I want to go ahead and place my target again, all I have to do is wait for that to fill. Pretending I'm filled, I would just go ahead and place the order right here. Just by clicking on, it's just going to be a market order. The only thing I have to remember is once the trade is over is make sure to cancel all. And there's no accidental orphan orders hanging out there. So it's a few things to keep track of. But that's basically it. That's how I use the matrix. I've got my bracket order that's set up to easily facilitate SST orders, and I've got my additional matrix that's just set up to enter market orders on an as-needed basis. And that's basically it. All right, on the next video, I'm going to show you a couple live trades using this exact setup, one on crude oil and one on the Russell E-mini. All right, we'll see if this Russell trade's going to work for us. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to move our stops up. We're getting close to money management. And we got to work around the original entry. All right, we're going to move our stop to 800.4. The original entry, you could go to 800.5 if you want to lock in a tick. I'm just trying to kind of hide behind the 0.5 and try to stay in the trade. And if you made the adjustment, you'd have about 3 ticks of risk still. And we need 3 ticks for full target if we can just get a little bit more of a push. Another long on the EU. The short, you should cancel. The long, 24.33. That one targeting 24.53 with a stop of 24.07.
Order filled.
There's full target on the Russell. Now we're going to lock in. Make sure now that you put a 1 tick stop on there so you don't take a loss on your remaining position. In fact, the 3-bar stop wants to go up to 0.7. And this will be power of quitting on the Russell. And now the stop moves up to 800.9. There you go, Steve. Have a good one. Long is canceled on the euro. Now you got another short. So the story on the euro is just up and down, kind of stuck on its 50 EMA on the daily chart. 24.14 is the short, targeting 23.95. The stop is 24.46. Stop on the Russell, possibly will move higher. We'll see what happens with this next bar. Yep, getting close to wheat. Russell's about a tick away from stopping out.
Order filled.
And it did just stop out. But power of quitting, profitable day on the Russell. And shortly after that Russell trade, we grabbed a crude trade. And I quickly flipped on the recorder. So let's follow the progress of this crude oil trade. You'll notice there's 2 positions. And the entry was at 92.71. We actually didn't get filled until 92.74. So let's see what happens. And by the way, that last Russell trade picked up a modest 14 ticks. We ended up closing that session out with a 16 tick gain. Fairly modest. Yesterday we picked up 4.5 points. But our style of trading says we just take what the market wants to give us, and that's what the market gave us today. So let's focus on this crude trade. We also have a possible long setting up on the 5-minute chart. So we keep poking up and making daily highs, just barely with no follow through. Hopefully we're going to get a burst and a breakout here. $92.91 is our money management level. If we can get there, we'll lock in 1 tick, kind of inching its way higher here. All right, that first target's in sight. 3 ticks shy. 5-minute chart triggered in. And 2 more ticks is all we need for a risk-free trade. The stop just moved up to 92.47, and there it is. Hitting money management. Let's move our stops up and lock in a tick. And hopefully that holds. And we get the bigger target. But now we have a risk-free trade. Stops at 92.74. Good morning, Les. Yeah, so normally you'd have your stops at 92.72, but because the trigger line has moved so far up, it's trailing that trigger line. And the EU continues to be glued to its 50 EMA on the daily chart. If you pull up a daily chart, put a 50 EMA on there, you'll see it. And we're getting ready to move our stops up again on crude to let this bar close, and it looks like it's going to go to 92.79. And there it goes, 92.79. So 24.41 is another long on the EU. Let's call it 24.42. And crude trying to survive. If the EU triggers in, that one's going to be targeting 24.61. And it looks like the stop will be at 24.14 to start. All right, our stop so far holding us in and getting ready to move up. Making new highs here on this move. Looks like the stop wants to move up to 92.84 in a few moments. 92.84. Looks like crude's trying to get up to $93 a barrel here, and then we got to get through it another 13 cents, so this may take a little time. Maybe we get a burst of energy here. There's the 93. Let's see how it handles it here. Should expect a little bit of a pullback. 87 now the stop. And now 89. See if we can try it. 93 again.
Order filled.
And just didn't have enough to get up there, at least not yet, but still a profitable trade out at 92.89.